It says on the package that this is X-Shot's best blaster ever, and from what I've heard, that might be true. If they can successfully nail an AEB for $80 off of store shelves, it'll completely change the Nerf blasting game. Anyways, I'm super excited to check this thing out, so let's get started. Attaching the barrel is necessary. The blaster will not fire correctly without it installed. However, it is removable for storage purposes. Up front, we have a detachable B-car, which uses bearings to stabilize darts in flight, and this should provide a noticeable increase in accuracy. Then we have the metal barrel, which is removable, as I said earlier, for storage. However, the blaster will not fire without it installed, as the spring needs a barrel to generate pressure. Up top, we have a standard Picatinny rail, which is able to seat the included sights. The fitting on the rail is pretty good. However, the sights themselves are not very good, as I find them pretty cluttery and not that accurate. Down below, we have a standard Talon mag well, which is great because this blaster will work with any Talon magazine. And it has dual mag releases for both primary hand and secondary head magazine releases. On the back of the blaster, you'll find the select fire switch, and right next to that, you'll find the firing trigger. Up here, we'll find a slide for reloading a new magazine. And at the back, we have a stock. It does appear to be a normal buffer tube stock, but the stock cannot be removed because it has the battery inside. The included battery is a 7.4 volt 2000 milliamp lithium ion battery, which is used to rack the spring back and forth when firing. The blaster also comes with X-Shot eyewear, 40 of X-Shot's air pocket darts, and a charging cable for the battery. Time to see what this thing can do. As it turns out, to switch from semi-auto to full auto, you need to first switch the blaster into safe, and because I didn't know this when I was filming this, the blaster's full auto didn't work and it continued firing in semi-auto. To deprime the blaster after use, first switch the blaster into semi-automatic mode, then hold down the trigger for approximately 5 seconds, after which the blaster will automatically deprime. This ensures the spring does not get damaged. Well, let's see the range on this thing. Super strangely with this blaster, the angle shots actually didn't go as far, although I could probably associate most of those to the darts hitting the tree. In normal circumstances, angling the shot should make them go further. In my testing, the Shot piston pump received an average of 158.26 feet per second. This is a bit low, but still kind of on par with other pro performance blasters. So after significantly testing this thing, I can confirm what I probably already knew before buying it. This thing is amazing. First of all, it's an AEB, which we've never seen on store shelves before, but it is kind of the perfect blend of flywheeler and springer. It gives you the power and accuracy of a springer and the rate of fire of a flywheeler, with very few downsides. Even more so that it's coming from X-Shot of all companies. They've really stepped up their game over the last 3 years into the pro performance market, and I can really see them being a competitor to Nerf or even Dart Zone. Speaking of which, Dart Zone has to make a competitor to this thing, or X-Shot will have the AEB market unchallenged on store shelves. Now that X-Shot's proven the concept, I expect Dart Zone to make one within the next 6 months. Turning back to the blaster, it's not entirely perfect, but it's almost there. With an AEB, especially considering that this isn't powered by a LiPo, you do sacrifice some rate of fire. The motors simply aren't strong enough running off a lithium-ion battery, so you'll probably be stuck on 2 darts a second with this thing. That's lower than many flywheelers, but still faster than most people can get on high-performance springers. While it doesn't have one built in, modding this thing to have an XE60 connector and throwing a LiPo in there could yield some serious performance increases. Remember, when modding AEBs, you also need to switch the spring, since the battery only controls the rate of fire, not the power. Its performance also isn't anything special. 3 years ago, this performance would have been record-breaking, but now a power creep has set into off-the-shelf blasters, and what this thing hits just isn't that powerful anymore. But it still hits harder, and most importantly, is more accurate than most flywheelers, so I guess it's still pretty good. But overall, for bringing an entirely new class of blasters onto store shelves, this thing is amazing. As of summer 2025, this thing is selling for about $80, and if it ever goes on sale, I'd recommend an instant pickup. Even at full price, it's a bargain compared to other AEBs. Overall, this blaster is a great pickup, and I'm especially excited to see what changes this brings in the industry. For the last 4 or 5 years, flywheelers have been the only pro performance we got in store shelves, but I'm excited to see what new AEBs come out of this. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.